Ladies and gentlemen, Republicans will win the House and the Senate. It doesn't take Nostradamus to see the following. The 10-year Treasury yield is, believe it or not, at 3.165%. If it goes over 3%, that's a bad sign for the economy. Just want to read you really quickly in Investopedia. When confidence is low, bond prices rise and yields fall as there is more demand for this safe investment. The confidence factor is also felt outside the U.S. The geopolitical situation of other countries can affect U.S. government bond prices as the U.S. is seen as a safe haven for capital. So when confidence is low, not just in the U.S., but around the world, and we're seeing that now because of decisions that Mashed Potato Brains Joe and other similar liberal governments have made throughout the world. We're all experiencing record highs in inflation. Inflation was at 8.6%. 8.6%. It's skyrocketing. And interest rates are going up as we're heading into a recession with 8 to 9% inflation as jobless claims rise to the highest levels in the last 5 months, according to the Wall Street Journal, and gas prices have doubled since Mashed Potato Brains took office. So you tell me it doesn't take a Nostradamus to tell you this. Now, I did tell you in September of 2021 that we're going to have a stock market crash and an economic collapse. I said crypto and Bitcoin would decline and implode, and you could see the segments. Watch the playlist in the description. Go to the stock market crash channel. I have an important segment there today on the 8.6% inflation and what that means for stocks. Go to the Bitcoin crash channel also. Those channels are below in the pinned and the description. The description section shows you what I've been saying since September of last year. I accurately predicted, ladies and gentlemen, I was one of the first people in all of YouTube to tell you that we're heading into an economic decline with a market crash. The stock market, the Dow Jones has fallen about 1,400 points in the past 2 days. It's going to go way below 30,000. What does this mean, of course, for Mashed Potato Brains Joe? Well, Republicans are going to have a historic, monumental victory, and Democrats are going to have a cataclysmic defeat. They could play the congressional tapes, the reality show on continual loop all they'd like. It's not going to matter. There are going to be investigations of Hunter's emails, parallel investigations within the House and the Senate for helping the Durham Probe Special Counsel, parallel investigations to the Durham Probe Special Counsel. We have a catastrophe economically because Democrats, media, unelected officials, bureaucrats, multinational organizations said, hey, you know what? It's a really good idea if we end all economic activity. Usually countries go to battle. Usually it's the top national security issue to prevent that from taking place. No. We gleefully ended economic activity. Hit subscribe, by the way, to this channel. Hit subscribe to the Stock Market Crash channel, the Bitcoin Crash channel. If you want to support my work, my Patreon is below in the description and the pinned comment. And also, become a member. Go to my homepage on this channel. Become a member of this channel. But ladies and gentlemen, why is the 10-year Treasury yield so important? The importance of the 10-year Treasury bond yield goes beyond just understanding a return on investment for the security. The 10-year is used as a proxy for many other important financial matters, such as mortgage rates. This bond also tends to signal investor confidence. The U.S. Treasury sells bonds via auction, and yields are set through a bidding process. When confidence is high, prices for the 10-year drop and yields rise. This is because investors feel they can find higher returning investments elsewhere and do not feel the need to play it safe. But when confidence is low, bond prices rise and yields fall, and there is more demand for this safe investment. The confidence factor is also felt outside the U.S. Okay, so I talked about that. It is at 3.165%. Now, this is very, very interesting because this is based on a really terrible situation. The last time it was this high, ladies and gentlemen, the last time it was approaching 4% was '08. We are approaching a 4% 10-year yield. That's just one measurement of how utterly pathetic and terrible this economy is. Jobless claims rise to the highest level in 5 months. Weekly jobless claims hit 229,000, the highest level since January. Okay? Tell me what mashed potato brains Joe and Democrats are doing aside from harping and pontificating and opining and preaching and condemning and judging about dishonor. And so these people are the most dishonorable people on the planet. They cheated Bernie Sanders in their own primary in 2016, and Bernie was railroaded. He was then part of the system he claimed to oppose. So Bernie Sanders was in a primary that was completely a theatrical performance. Talk about dishonor. Where all that money was used to purchase a dossier that funneled into the U.S. government to investigate an incoming Republican candidate based on nothing, just mere suspicion and gossip and hearsay, and the high to moderate confidence levels of professional liars. And so then let's talk about honor and dishonor. Then, in the most dishonorable manner, they blame the geopolitical crisis for gas prices, recession, GDP, like I said, recession, inflation, food shortages. All of these things were taking place. They were the beginning, the foundation for all of this was taking place long before the geopolitical nightmare that, by the way, is happening under the watch of Democrats in the House, the Senate, and the executive. Now, the way morally superior liberal Democrats have acted and behaved in the most dishonorable manner, oftentimes, not everybody, of course, but many, they have disowned friends, disowned family, because they think they're so morally superior, yet they've presided over only tragedy, economic collapse, and horrible geopolitical decision-making. You can look at how Biden completely botched the Doha Agreement. Those 13 Americans should be alive today. There's over 100 Afghans should be alive today. Talk about dishonor among Democrats. And then we're looking at a situation where is there any chance of any Democratic senator or representative or mashed potato brains, our president, trying to find a negotiated deal to end the hostilities and the crimes and the unspeakable tragedy that's taking place in Europe now? Is there any incentive for Europeans, all these wonderful countries that we protect, because that alliance is us, not anyone else, the UK, but it's really us. And so, are they trying to stop the nightmare? No, they want the nightmare to continue so they could blame what's taking place for the inflation they caused by pumping $10 trillion into the economy. It's going to be a red wave because Democrats mishandled, miscalculated, completely botched many topics, the effort to address a serious issue, very serious, 2 years ago. Ending the entire economy, and all these other countries did so gleefully also. You can't do that. It's an economic sin. I wrote about that in The Federalist. It's the most catastrophic, counterproductive, hysterical, apoplectic, sinister, insidious, diabolical economic decision that ever took place. One of the most. To ruin the lives of 22 million Americans because of a serious issue. They do the same thing with recent tragedies. We got to do something. Well, when you have a headache, you don't bash your head in with a hammer. You don't just do something. You got to go and do the right thing. Do the right thing, like the movie. Do the right thing. And so you have to do the right thing, not the wrong thing. You don't displace tens of millions of workers in important industries and cause these supply chain breakdowns. And you say, well, it was this. No, it was our reaction to this. That's what it was. It wasn't that. It was our reaction to that. Anyway, red wave coming. Republicans, please save this country from, the cult. They say that Trump, no. Nobody votes for Trump because of his personality. People vote for Trump because his policies worked. Like, most of his policies worked. Like, categorically worked. None of the Democratic policies worked. We can see what's taking place. People, if you've lasted this long, to my 10-minute crowd, people, we're not even close. We're talking about an '08 collapse. Hedge funds going under. Watch the playlist. I'm not Nostradamus. I haven't been right about everything, but I've been spot on, and I'm telling you, it's going to get much worse. This is nothing. We're in the first inning. God bless America. God bless you. Your life should be your life should be on an upward trajectory. Happiness, love, laughter, safety, all these things. But the country is descending into madness and economic turmoil primarily, and that's the main issue. And there are going to be like massive layoffs. And Lord knows how they're going to try to blame Trump because this is 100% the fault of the Democratic Party and Never Trumpers. The small Never Trumpers that are, afraid to actually speak out about anything, but just side with Democrats. And I explained that in the Federalist in October. Hit subscribe to this channel right now. If you can save as much money as you can, ladies and gentlemen, every month from here on out, it's going to get, and make sure you're prepared economically for this absolute collapse, because it's going to take place. Give me your thoughts below. Hit subscribe.